It's about damn time. That's all I'm going to say. It is about damn time. We have now got right here the Pacers. And by the way, I just want to say, for all the people, when we were all talking about the Indiana Fever, the way these players were getting injuries, how the injuries were reported, how they were rehabbing, how players were playing when they weren't 100%, how they seemed to be resting players when they were able to play and then playing players when they weren't supposed to play, and the fact that they were saying, oh, these injuries aren't setback and lying about injuries and all this. Like, we were all questioning the medical team. And everyone's like, oh, you're not doctors. And I'm like, no, we're not doctors, but we're human beings. Like, we know when something doesn't look right. Like, we are human beings. You don't have to be a doctor to see that something's wrong. You just have to be a human being to know and be around sports to know this isn't normal. And I never said that the Fever were doing it with malice. I never said outright they were doing it with malice. Because we are not hearing anything, everyone theorizes on things, and to not theorize on things and just say, yeah, the organization's good is naive. But like, it turns out that, maybe the Pacers were actually we're talking about that as well. Because the Indiana Fever are now looking to hire, for the Pacers, they're looking to hire a senior director of health and performance. As you can see, Senior Director of Health and Performance will oversee the Health, Medical, and Athletic Performance Department for the Indiana Fever. They're responsible for providing athletic training therapy, athletic or physical therapy care for Fever players and staff. So either they didn't have somebody in the past, which is bad, or they're firing whoever they had. I wouldn't be surprised if it's they didn't have it, because nobody had a clue what was going on, including Stephanie White. Like, I think Caitlin Clark was kind of intentionally leaving Stephanie White in the dark a little bit when it came to the injuries, because maybe a little bit too much information was given out. But I don't know. You're now seeing it here. You're now seeing a situation where obviously these players are responsible for identifying individual clinical treatment and rehab strategies goals. So like, clearly something's gone wrong. Something went wrong last season. And, the organization are hiring somebody to, stop, to fix whatever went wrong. And that's good. That's good. And I still stand by this. Like, the Fever can do no wrong, crowd. They were never going to be right in this one. They were never going to be right. And I don't understand why they were so adamant. That, it's actually not everybody knows what's going on. The Fever organization, you're not a doctor. And I'm like, you don't have to be a doctor. If you've had, like, you don't have to be a doctor to know that it takes a year to come back, the guts of a year to come back from an ACL injury. You don't have to be a doctor to know that a grade 0 groin strain, if it was a grade 0 groin strain that didn't show up in an MRI, does not take 2 months to come back from, that there's something else wrong. The Fever wouldn't say what else was wrong. That's the problem. The complications. They weren't saying what else was wrong, and they were day to day. Like Sophie Cunningham was talking, she was like, oh, it's a day by day thing in August. But yeah, obviously, this is a bit of a weird one here, though, I will say. It says here, assistant pre-draft free agent player evaluations. I'm assuming that's physical player evaluations and not a fucking scout. Maintain a state licensed certification as a physical therapist and athletic trainer. Adhere to all team and WNBA standards for clinical documentation. Maintain WNBA and HIPAA standards for confidentiality regarding all matters. And yeah, obviously, look, when it comes, the fans don't need to know everything. Fans don't need to know everything about what's going on, but just a general update. Not day to day. Not a random like day to day that lasts. I've never seen a day to day injury last 4 months. Like, I'm not joking. Her day to day injury is gonna last 4 months. But yeah, it's a positive thing. It is a very much positive thing. After the way things went 25, it'd be embarrassing if they didn't make some sort of change. This is good news to hear. Yeah, I agree. Oh, Howard's getting her jersey retired for FSU. They've been listening and people are loud enough. I don't think Twitter. Look, I'm gonna say this. I don't think Twitter played a role in this. But if Twitter did play a role in this, holy shit, this organization's incompetent. And I've always said that. People were like, "Oh, you're like my criticisms and like, oh, you're gonna lead to a player or a coach getting fired or something." I'm like, man, if a random person on the internet has the power to change anything or make any negative decision, like, the only thing that I would hope is that maybe pointing out some overseas talent that they maybe haven't looked at. If somebody's looking at it and is like, maybe they're going to be good. And that's not just a specific me thing. Like, I think that these scouts, because the way WNBA talent has been evaluated, there is talent all over the world. And you can maybe bring in some players that could end up being hoopers. Like, there's not as many spots as the NBA, and it doesn't just have to be, or foreign players. Like someone like a Kayla Alexander, I know she's Canadian, but she's hooping for Valencia right now. You got to look at these leagues and see who's killing it, which is how they got Chloe Bibby, which is why she came in, which is why Kat Westbell came in. So it doesn't specifically have to be foreign players, but at the same time, if these organizations don't have a dedicated scout team and they can't just start scouting random players, if they are looking online for seeing who's doing well, fair enough. But other than that, like, there shouldn't actually be any, like, fans should not have an impact in how the organizations ran. They shouldn't. They wait until they have multiple season-ending injuries. I'm gonna be honest. Ari McDonald and Sid Colson's and Sophie Cunningham's were contact injuries. It's the Chloe Bibby and Caitlin Clark ones that I think are concerning. The Chloe Bibby and Caitlin ones are definitely concerning. That's all I'm gonna say. Just because of how they were reported, and that, like, it was meant to be like a nothing burger, and suddenly both of them are out injured for the longest time. But yeah, for now, wait till 7 players get injured to start point guard before hiring some help. Not saying bad with staff prior, which I'm sure were good enough for most purposes. We learned last year good enough is not good enough. Not for this work, certainly not for Caitlin. And of course, they're listening precisely why some people just stop cuddling them and getting loud as like F. Public opinion always mattered. Next button point, getting a scouting department. That is a given. That is a given. That is absolutely a given. And I've already put my name in the hat for that. Like, I will sign any NDA. Just pay for my travel. Pay for my travel to go see all these potential prospects in free agency. I will, and then pay me a freaking rookie minimum contract. Like, pay me what it's worth and pay for my travel, and I will do it, and I will sign any NDA and make sure it is not known anywhere. I'll sign an NDA to not put it on my LinkedIn, that it's a completely under the table thing if you don't want me involved. But, like, I've already put my name in that. I'll do it, and I'll do it cheaper than most people. But you need to have some sort of scouting department. You absolutely need to have a sort of scouting department. But wings next. Now this is dope. So never mind. I don't know what that was going to come in to it. But, like, I don't know if they got rid of their old team or this is a new thing. New specific team. They're just maybe using a team from the Pacers that weren't really caring. But yeah, it's something that we needed to see. Look, it is definitely something that we needed to see. Actually hiring health staff. If they didn't have it, it would be absolutely crazy. But anyway, yeah, that's the video. I'll see you guys.